The winter air hung heavy outside the city hospital that night. Snowflakes drifted down like tiny whispers, melting on the cold pavement where an old brown dog sat. His name was Max. His fur was patchy, his paws cracked from years of walking the streets, but his eyes, those deep, loyal eyes, held one thing stronger than pain: hope. Max had been sitting by those sliding glass doors for 2 days. Every time they whooshed open and a figure stepped out, his tail would wag, his ears would perk, and his heart would leap. But every time, it wasn't the man he was waiting for. Nurses passed him, security guards tried to chase him off, but Max wouldn't leave. He was waiting for his human, the only person who had ever shown him love. It had all started a week earlier. John, a retired construction worker in his late 60s, had found Max limping behind a gas station. The dog's ribs showed, his tail tucked between his legs, terrified of every sound. John had knelt down slowly, extended his hand, and said, "Hey there, buddy, you hungry?" That simple moment, a leftover sandwich and a gentle voice, changed both of their lives. From that day on, Max followed John everywhere. They became inseparable. Morning walks through the park, quiet dinners by the TV, and long evenings where John would talk to Max as if the dog understood every word. And maybe he did. Because whenever John's voice trembled, Max would rest his head on his lap like he was saying, "It's okay, I'm here." But love has a cruel way of being tested. One evening, John clutched his chest and collapsed near the front porch. Max barked wildly, nudging his owner's shoulder, whining, circling him in panic. When the ambulance came, John's hand hung limp from the stretcher. Max ran after it, howling, his paws slipping on the icy street. The paramedics closed the doors, and the sirens faded. Max tried to follow the flashing lights, running until his legs gave out. That was the last time he saw his owner alive. The next morning, people spotted the old dog outside the hospital entrance, sitting patiently. He waited through the biting wind, the falling snow, and the endless stream of footsteps that ignored him. Security pushed him away once, twice, but every night he came back, curling up near the emergency doors where he had last seen John. Days turned into weeks. Max grew thinner, weaker, but he refused to move far. A kind nurse named Emily started leaving scraps of food near the bushes. She would whisper, "Hey, boy, eat something, okay?" But Max wouldn't touch the food until the hospital doors opened again, as if he didn't want to miss a single chance that his human might appear. Inside the hospital, John had passed away quietly 3 days after being admitted. His only family was gone years ago. There was no one to take Max home. No one except a loyal heart waiting outside. Emily finally decided to look for information. She asked around, checked patient lists, and when she found John's name, her heart sank. She looked out the window and saw Max still sitting in the snow. The sight broke her. That night she went outside, knelt down beside him, and whispered, "I'm sorry, boy, he's not coming back." Max tilted his head, his eyes soft, as if trying to understand the meaning behind her voice. He whined softly and looked back toward the glass doors, still waiting. Emily couldn't bear it. She went home that night with tears in her eyes. The next morning, she returned with a blanket and sat beside Max. "You can't stay here forever," she said softly. "But I know you won't leave him either, will you?" Max pressed his head against her knee. That was his answer. Word spread through the town about the dog waiting outside the hospital. People began to bring him food, some even tried to take him home, but Max always found a way back to the same spot. He'd wait all day, then curl up under the bench by the entrance every night. The hospital staff grew used to him. The janitor called him the loyal one. Even patients began to notice him, whispering his story with tears in their eyes. Then one night, the temperature dropped below freezing. Snow piled up like soft white walls around the parking lot. Max didn't move. He just sat there, staring at the entrance that never opened for him. The security guard, feeling pity, placed a cardboard box and blanket beside him, but Max stayed right where he was, where John had last disappeared. By morning, Emily found him barely breathing. She wrapped him in the blanket and rushed him to the local vet. The vet said Max was suffering from exhaustion, malnutrition, and frostbite, but what broke him more was grief. "He's not sick," the vet said softly. "He's heartbroken." Emily spent days nursing him. For the first time in weeks, Max slept peacefully. But one evening, he suddenly woke up, walked to the window where sunlight poured in, and stared outside, wagging his tail slowly. Emily followed his gaze. The sky was painted gold, the same color as John's old jacket. Max closed his eyes, his breathing calm and steady. It was almost as if he saw someone waiting for him this time. His tail gave one last wag. And then, silence. Emily buried him on a hill overlooking the town, near a tree where sunlight always touched the ground. She placed a small wooden sign beside it that read, "Max, the dog who waited for love." After that, the hospital entrance felt different. The bench where Max used to sleep stayed empty, but the staff still left food and water there. Some said that on cold nights, they could still hear faint footsteps and a gentle whine by the door as if Max was still there, waiting for his owner, patient and loyal as ever. Emily visited the hill often, bringing flowers. Every time she sat down, she'd whisper, "He came back for you, Max. He's waiting on the other side now." And somewhere, in a place beyond pain and loneliness, a man and his dog walked side by side again, the bond of loyalty unbroken, the wait finally over.